Hi guys, welcome to the new channel. I hope that you guys choose to stay. This is one of several videos that you'll be seeing of us moving, packing, and traveling. I'm not saying to where, but you guys are going to be shocked and surprised, and I hope enjoy every moment because we about to be on the road for a very long time. So there's going to be a lot of videos. So I was a little emotional during this video. I apologize. Things have been, emotional. It's emotional when you move. And some things have been going on in our lives. So anyway, enjoy the video. Hey guys, here I am. Watch me pack and clean. If you had asked me a few months ago how I thought I'd feel about packing up this house, I probably would have said excited for something new. Excited to start a new chapter in our lives. My husband's getting ready to retire, and we finally get to slow down a little after so many years of working and raising a family. And I am excited, but I wasn't prepared for everything else I would feel. I've cried over things I thought I'd never cry over. I've literally just stood in empty rooms longer than I expected, just looking around, kind of just remembering things. I've opened drawers that should have taken 5 minutes to clean out, and an hour later, I'm still sitting on the floor, just kind of reminiscing about things. And it's funny how a house can hold so much memories and so many things at the same time. We've lived here for about 15 years. And 15 years doesn't really sound that long until you start packing it all into boxes. Just the cabinets, the closets, the shelves, everything has a story attached to it for the most part. I went to pack up the kitchen and found my recipe books and opened up another cabinet and found something else. It's just, there's memories everywhere. When we first moved here, everything felt so new. We were excited. We had plans. We talked about how to decorate, where the furniture would go, what we'd change over time. We did a lot of that, but we didn't know that we'd spend 15 years building our life here. We didn't know how long we were going to be here. We thought actually this was going to be where we retired, but it didn't end up that way. Life has a funny way of just kind of, throwing a curveball at you. To me, this wasn't just a place. It was our home. It's where we celebrated birthdays, Christmases, family dinners, movie nights, weekends where we didn't really do anything and rushed weekday mornings, that's for sure. Before my husband started working the night shift, he worked during the day and it was just crazy in the morning. Plus with the kids, getting them to school. But this is where our lives happened. Here's my husband showing me paint colors. So, everyday moments happened here. Everyday moments, just like at your house, right? And those are the ones that I'm missing the most. Making coffee while everyone was still sleeping, hearing someone walk down the hallway, waiting for everybody to wake up, cooking dinner while everything happened around me. And these little moments never seemed important at the time, and now I realize they were everything. And as I've been cleaning, I've noticed little marks on the wall that somehow survived all these years. Places where our furniture have sat, the way the sunlight comes through the windows, the same way it always has, but somehow it just feels different now. Maybe because I know it's one of the last times I'll ever see it. And packing is strange. You start with the things you don't use very often, the easy stuff, the holiday decorations, which I still need to get to actually. Extra blankets, I've done that. Things that are stored in closets, you think, oh, this isn't, that bad. And then you get to the everyday things, the dishes you've used for years, the mugs you've always reached for, the pictures, the little decorations that you walk by 1,000 times. You've walked past them 1,000 times without even really noticing them. And that's when it starts to hit you. I'm not just packing stuff. I'm packing up our life, our entire life. I'm packing it up. And people Some people, say, well, a house is just a house. And I understand what they mean. The memories aren't inside these walls, literally, they're within us. But these walls were here for every memory. This kitchen watched our family grow. The living room held conversations I'll never forget. The windows, as I'm washing them, watched the seasons change over and over again while our lives changed right along with them. Sometimes I wonder, you know, how it's going to be at our new place. I wonder that actually all the time. One thing that I've learned, though, is that change is rarely just one thing. At least it hasn't been for us. Our kids grew up. That happened really fast. Everyone tells you it goes quickly. When your kids are little, people are like, oh, enjoy every minute because they'll, be grown before you know it. I remember hearing that and thinking, there's no way. I'm up all night. Do you know how many hours a day? The days felt so long sometimes. And there was always something that needed to be done. Laundry, meals, school events, appointments, cleaning, working, trying to keep up with everything. But then one day would feel like 3. And now I look back and wonder where 15 years went. Somehow the little kids who filled this house with so much life became adults. And that's what we were raising them to do, raising them to leave, raising them to build their own lives, raising them to become independent. But knowing that's the goal doesn't make it easy when it happens. And people talk about the empty nest. I don't think anyone can really explain it until you've lived it. It's not just quieter, it's different. The whole rhythm of your life changes. You don't realize how much of your days revolve around your children until they don't anymore. And you find yourself thinking about them all the time, wondering how they're doing, if they're happy, if they know how proud of you, how proud you are of them. And right now our kids aren't talking to us. And that's probably the hardest part of this whole season. I never imagined we'd be leaving this house without knowing if we'd get the chance to say goodbye together. I pictured something completely different. I imagined one last walk through the house together, standing in the kitchen, talking about old memories, laughing about things we'd forgotten, maybe taking some, last family pictures before handing over the keys. Hugs, tears, closure. But life doesn't always give us the endings that we picture in our minds. Sometimes it just leaves us with unanswered questions. Sometimes it asks us to keep loving people from a distance, and that's hard. Really, 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 really hard. But there's something about packing up this house that has made all those feelings come to the surface for me. And I think it's because every room reminds me of them. Every memory includes them. Sorry, you guys. I'll get through this. I think when you're closing a chapter in your life, you naturally think about everyone who is a part of it. And I don't know what our future looks like. I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, but I do know this. Our love does not stop just because life gets complicated. It doesn't stop because people stop talking, and it doesn't end because there are hard times in life. It keeps going. Love keeps remembering, and love keeps believing. It just does. And it's going to be there. I have faith that it's going to be there. And as I pack and clean, I find myself thinking about how many changes have happened all at once. It's not just a goodbye. There's several goodbyes happening to this house, to the routine we've known for so long, to the years when our children were still at home, goodbye to the version of life we thought we would have forever. And at the same time, we're saying hello to something new, a new home, a new season, a new rhythm of life. My husband retiring is one of those things that we've looked forward to for years. And after so many years of getting up and going to work, carrying responsibilities, and doing everything that needed to be done, we finally reached the point where we could slow down. And we've talked about this time. We've dreamed about what it would look like, more time together, more freedom, more opportunities to do things we've never had time to do before. And there's so much excitement in that. There really, really is. But I think what I didn't realize is that even happy changes can feel very, very heavy. Retirement isn't just, well, I don't have to work anymore. It's a Saturday every day. It's the end of a chapter. He's worked his whole life. He's 60 years old. He's worked since he was 10, it's closing the door on a routine that's been part of our lives for decades. I mean, we've been together for 40 years. This is just crazy. It's just crazy. And we're looking back at everything that we've accomplished, and we're realizing, how much time has really passed. We've spent so many years building a life, working and saving, raising our family, taking care of everyone else. And now we're stepping into a season where we have to figure out what comes next. Who are we? Who are we? And who are we when we're not needed in the same ways we used to be? What is our everyday life going to look like now? But you know what? Those are exciting questions, but they're big questions. And then there's the move. Starting over it sounds so exciting when you say it quickly. A new house, a fresh start, a chance to make new memories. But starting over also means letting go, and letting go is not easy. I've learned that you can be grateful for where you're going and still be sad about where you've been. Both things can be true. I can be excited about our new house and still miss this one, I'm thankful for this new chapter that's coming up, but I'm still grieving the chapter that's ending. And while I am looking forward, I still turn around sometimes to remember. And I think that's just part of being human. We hold on to things that matter. And this house mattered. Not because it was perfect or everything was always easy, but because it was ours. It held our lives, the good days, the hard days, the days where we had everything figured out. Oh, yeah. And the days that we were just trying our best. And that's what makes a home special. It's not that nothing bad ever happens here. It's that life happens here. Real life. And I've gone through closets and cabinets. I realized how much of life we collect. And they're not just things, they're memories. A sweater someone forgot they left here. Packing up framed photos, a picture I haven't seen in years because, it was already in a box or something, and for some reason, and it's just like, oh my gosh. I mean, we came across our 8mm cassette tapes. We're going to have fun when we're retiring. We were talking about what a fun project it's going to be to put them on CDs. So we're looking forward to that. I mean, my husband started crying when he saw the box because it said, Brendan's first birthday. It said, Kelsey's, I can't remember, first Christmas or something like that. But something small that basically brings back a whole moment that I thought I had forgotten is what I'm trying to say. And it's amazing how one little thing can take you right back to that moment, to a different time, a different version of yourself. The pictures of me volunteering at their school, it's like, wow. Wow. I think one of the hardest parts about moving is I don't feel like I'm just leaving a place. I'm saying goodbye to who I was while I was here, if that makes any sense. 15 years ago, we were different people. Our kids were different. Our life looked different. We were in the middle of raising a family. The days were full. Our calendar was full. The house was full. And now I'm standing here with boxes all around me, realizing just how quickly that season passed. There's a strange feeling when you realize you're no longer in the middle of the story. You're looking back at that part of it. I remember wishing for quiet times, wishing for less rushing, wishing for more time. And now that the house is quiet, I realize I didn't know I would miss the noise. I didn't know I would miss, the interruptions. Mom, I need help with this. Mom, what's for dinner? Mom, didn't you know that I had to be at so-and-so's house at 5:30 and here it is 5:20, I didn't know I would miss being needed. And it's funny how life works, because when you're in the middle of raising children, you dream about having more freedom. And when that freedom arrives, you realize what you gave up to get there. Sorry, my dogs are making some noises. And each one takes something. When our kids were little, we had the joy of watching them discover everything, and we got to be there for their first steps, their first day of school, the celebrations, all the milestones that happened. And then came the season of watching them become themselves, which was so hard for me. So hard for me. I remember them taking driving lessons and just being like, no, this can't be. Like, this just can't be. And prom. And then, they move out of the house and I'm like, what is going on? I'll never forget my daughter driving down the driveway, leaving, and she waved out the window and I just lost it. But yeah, seeing their personalities grow and their dreams develop and seeing them become adults, that's a gift. Even when it hurts, it's a gift. Even when you wish that time would slow down. A parent's heart is so complicated, isn't it? It's so complicated. You spend years teaching your children how to stand on their own. Then part of you wishes they still needed you the way they did before, but that's love. That's what love is. Wanting them to fly while missing them when they were close enough to hold. Sorry, I'm really trying to get through this without crying. I'm not doing a very good job. And now, as we're preparing to leave this home, one of my biggest hopes is that someday our family can look back at this time with understanding. I really hope someday these years are not remembered only for the difficult moments. I hope they're remembered for the love, for the years before this, for all the laughter, for all the memories, how we showed up for each other, because those things are real too. A hard season doesn't erase a lifetime of love. It just doesn't. It can't. I just refuse to believe that. I remember driving in the car with the kids on the way home from school and on the way to school, just blasting music, singing with them. So many good memories. And I don't know what our future holds, but I am choosing to believe that this story, whatever's going on right now, can change, and families can heal. People can find their way back. Sometimes life takes unexpected paths before bringing people back together again. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. When I'm taping up boxes or clearing rooms, I'm trying so hard not to focus only on what we're leaving behind. I'm trying to remember everything that we were lucky enough to have. And we were so blessed. And we are blessed. 15 years here. My family was raised here. There's a lifetime of moments, and there is still a love that I have that exists even through the hardest days. And these days have been very, very hard. And maybe that's what this move is teaching me. Maybe that's my lesson in this, that we don't have to forget the past to move forward. I can carry it with me. I can honor it, and I can be grateful for it. And I can still make room to grow. I really believe in that. Sorry, I'm trying my best. I'm not doing a very good job. I'm trying my best not to cry. Sorry. But yeah, the closer that we get to the movie day, the more real it feels, obviously. At first it was like just an idea, and we talked about it for so long, because where we're going is, I'm not going to give up where we're going yet, because it's a surprise for a reason. We're going very, very far away. We are not moving to Idaho. We are not moving to Montana. We are not moving to Oregon. We are not moving to California. We are not moving to Arizona. We are moving very, very, very far away. But we talked about it for a very long time, and it's been something that we've been planning for. But now there are boxes everywhere, literally everywhere. And the rooms are getting emptier. They actually look very nice. It's all nice and staged. I love it. The walls are definitely starting to look different. I'm noticing that there's places I need to touch up some paint, which I've been going through and doing. And I'm really starting to realize that it isn't a move, but it's a goodbye. This is definitely a goodbye. And it's emotional, obviously, as you can tell. There's something emotional about seeing your house that's been so full for so long slowly become empty. It's shocking. It's really shocking. A room like the dining room, for example, where we had all of our family meals. It's just like, it doesn't even look the same. The decorations are taken down, stuff's taken down. It's just, it's slowly becoming empty. It's changing. It's becoming different. And the spaces where our family used to gather are quiet now. They're just quiet. And I find myself remembering things that I haven't thought about for a long time. Like I said, not because they were huge moments or anything, but they were our moments. They were our moments as a family. That counter that you see that I'm cleaning right now was where our kids sat. They sat on that counter our first date. We surprised them. They didn't know we had bought the house, and we drove them here and said, surprise, it's ours. And they sat right there. I have a picture of them sitting on that counter. We bought pizza, and we sat in the formal living room and had pizza on the floor like a picnic. Those are the types of things that I'm, talking about. Oh, sorry. And again, that's a simple moment, right? But those are the ones that I miss the most. The normal days, the days that we didn't know that one day we would miss and look back on and miss that, a regular dinner, a conversation in the kitchen, hearing someone come home, a quick goodbye before leaving for the day. And they just seem so ordinary when they were happening. And now they feel so precious. And I think that's one of the hardest part of life. We're always living in the moments that we don't realize we'll miss someday. When our children were younger, I think most of us do this. We were always looking ahead, right? Looking forward to the next milestone, the next birthday, the next school year, the next stage. I'm not saying that we didn't stay in the moment with our children, but I think you guys who have kids or have had kids understand what I'm saying. We were always thinking about, what was coming next. And then suddenly the next thing arrives, and you realize you were so busy getting, through what was actually happening, that you missed part of what was going on. And I wish I could go back and tell myself to slow down, to take in more of the little things, to not worry so much about the dang mess. Forget about the laundry for a little bit, the busy schedules, the things that felt so important at the time is what I'm trying to say, because those were not the things that mattered. What mattered was having everyone under one roof, the laughter, the love. And now, as I'm cleaning these rooms one final time, I find myself thinking about my children. I mean, I think about them all the time, but I think about all the years we spent together here. I think about the memories they have of this house. I wonder what they remember. I wonder if they think about these walls the way I do. I wonder if they know how much they're loved. Right now, our relationship with our kids is in a very painful place. They aren't talking to us, and that's been one of the hardest parts of this whole transition. I mean, moving already comes with so many emotions. Jeez. But wondering if we're going to get a chance to say goodbye to them makes it even harder. And there's sadness in knowing that the ending I pictured may not happen. The that I might have imagined it differently, you know. I mean, I imagined sharing it. I imagined hearing their voices here one more time. You know, I imagined telling them how much this house meant to us, how much they meant to us. So I find myself holding on to hope that someday we're going to have a conversation, that there's going to be understanding, that we can sit together and talk about all of this. I don't know when that day will be, but I know this. I know this for a fact. My love does not have an expiration date on it, and it's not going to disappear because things are difficult. And it's not going to stop because there's distance. You can miss someone and still love them. You can be hurt and still hope. I'm heartbroken, but I still believe that there's more to this story. And that's where I am right now. I'm grieving, and I hope this moment would be different. But I am also very grateful for everything that came before it. Because even though this season is painful, it doesn't erase all the beautiful seasons we had. The memories are ours. The laughter is real. The love is real. It happened here. A lifetime of moments happened here, and no one can take that away. No one can take that away. And as I pack the last things, I find myself talking to this house in my head. Thank you. Thank you for giving us a place to grow. Thank you for holding our memories, for being the backdrop to so much of our lives, and for the years when our house was full, and all of the laughter that filled these rooms. Thank you for every holiday, all the celebrations, every ordinary day that became special simply because we were together. And soon someone else will live here. Someone else will cook in my kitchen. Someone else will sit in these rooms. They'll create their own memories. And I hope they love this house as much as we did. I hope these walls bring them comfort. I hope this home brings them as much happiness as it gave us, because a home is meant to be lived in. It's meant to hold stories, and our story here is complete. Not forgotten, complete. I think that's an important difference. Sometimes, I think that we think that endings mean something is gone forever, but endings can also mean that something was meaningful enough to have a chapter of its own. And this chapter was beautiful. This chapter was so beautiful, even with the hard parts and the sadness and the things that I wish that were different. It was beautiful because we were here. Our family was here. We loved each other here. And now it's time to take that love somewhere new. So thank you for joining me today, you guys. Sorry I was crying and I sound so rough. It's been a real hard time for us. It's getting easier, but it's been really hard. So as always, loves.